Hi everybody. Welcome again to another episode. I'm trying to release a video each week. And I'm really thank you all for the following and for the support and those who are commenting. Your comments are really motivating me to carry on because when you start something you never know whether it's adding value or not, but I'm really grateful for everybody who's been supporting, listening, and commenting and giving me feedback. I appreciate it all. So please don't forget to subscribe. Click the subscribe button just below this video. Share with your friends, share with everybody so that we can be, part of this in this learning journey together. So yeah, we are, for those who don't know me, who haven't listened to my previous videos, my name is Octavia, and I started this vlog for the purpose of just sharing stories, because I believe there's power in a story, and sharing stories that are relatable to us as sisters. So, and I'm also doing a series where I relate some of the mistakes I made in my dating experience, hoping that I can also um, say something that will help somebody out there. I hope that the content that I'm bringing, the stories that I'm bringing are relatable to you all and you are learning something. And without further ado, let's get into today's topic. And we are on dating mistake number 2. I did say I'm going to speak on 5 major mistakes that I believe I made in relationships. So today, talking about a very broad topic, but I will try and squeeze it into my own experience, okay? And the topic is emotions over logic. Emotions over logic. So that, I believe, is one of the major mistakes that I have personally made in my dating years, where I've always in relationships applied emotions over logic. So let's break it down. All right. So as women, we are emotional beings. That's a fact. That is our nature. That is how God made us. So in any given circumstance we find ourselves, by default we apply our emotions. And but by doing that, sometimes we are not always able to see clearly, no matter how obvious the answer is, or maybe how silly the situation that we find ourselves in. So if our emotions are not in check, that'll always be our downfall. That was my downfall in many of the relationships that I found myself in, where my emotions were not in check. I was not as emotionally intelligent as I was supposed to be. So our emotions need to be tamed. We need to get to a place where we are emotionally intelligent, and that takes time. So logic is not our default as women. So logic obviously is applying reasoning and sound judgment. And we are always in our feelings. Oh, he makes me laugh. Oh. So we are always in our feels. Yeah, let me put it that way. But sometimes we get caught up in our emotions that we can't even see blatant facts. In as much as our emotions are just a natural instinctive state of the mind, and they are derived from being in a good mood, bad mood, circumstances around us, relationships that we have with people, all of that bundled up is what drives our emotions. So that means that our emotions are temporary, because there's a lot of things that drive them. So I could be happy now, and the next minute something happens and I'm in a different mood altogether. So that is emotions. They are fleeting and they're not always reliable. So we have to accept that our emotions are not reliable. That's our default, reaction to anything. We apply emotions, but those emotions are not always reliable. Okay. So as part of learning the game, we need to know our weakness as women. I had to look back and realize, this is my weakness in relationships, and we have to find a workaround, around that. So I just want to relate some random situations that I got myself into. As a learning point for this video, I'm just going to, like I said, I speak from my own experience. I don't want to speak for anybody. And how emotions drove the relationship that I was in or ruined it. And then what I should have done, what kind of logic I should have applied in that situation. All right, let's get into situation number one. I was dating this guy for a few months, say about 4 months. And I happened to find out that he was speaking to other girls and his ex was in the mix. And that really got to me. I started overthinking about this, and I was very insecure. And when I confronted him, he said that it's just charts, and he totally minimized the situation. And I was not happy, I wasn't happy, and I decided to break up with him because he pulled the "we are just friends" card on me, and I didn't believe it. So I decided to break up with him, only to get back with him 2 minutes later. Because then he came back and he said, "Oh, I love you, what, all those nice things that we like to hear." And I got back with him, and it never worked out, because these girls that were talking to him, it never ended, because I thought in him getting back with me, these chats and all of these messages that he was sending other girls would end, but it didn't. And then the relationship, didn't pan out. Yeah, so in this scenario, I was much younger, and there is a very slim chance that a guy will be talking to you only because he's young as well and he's in hunting mode. So, and him saying he loves me 4 months in, how? I don't know. So, and for me, the emotional mistake I made, or how I used emotions in this thing, it was because I accepted the lie, that, this guy loves me, without actually applying logic and reasoning to what he was saying. And there was enough evidence to show that this guy's actions, in this guy's actions, so the fact that he was busy with other girls, that was enough evidence for me to see that his actions and the things that he says that he loves me, that doesn't add up. So yeah, that is, one of the scenarios I can give where emotions kept, leading the relationship, leading me to stay in a relationship that was not even good for me. And I defied logic by, believing that this guy loved me without the actions to back it up. So deep down, sometimes we instinctively know the truth, and we can see, and there is enough evidence, but we hush it down. We hush it down because our emotions are saying, "Oh, but he said he loved me." No. Is there actions to back up what he's saying besides what you're feeling and the emotions that are telling you that because he said he loves you? Does he really love you when there is no actions to back it up and there's evidence that is otherwise? Right, so that was scenario number one. Scenario number two, I had an on and off relationship with a certain guy for years. I don't even want to say the number of years. And when I started the "what are we" conversation, and I wanted to commitment, we broke it off because he didn't want what I wanted. He didn't want to commit. I wanted a commitment. And over the years, when you are dating someone for too long, I think I dated for too long, we had become familiar, comfortable, and we only to break up because I wanted more. It doesn't even make sense for me when we broke up that, I've been there for this guy, we've been together, we know each other, And when I ask for more, that is the reason for us to break up. It doesn't make sense. It was a sad situation for me. It was really a sad situation because then, when we broke up, he was seeing other people. I moved on, but we later reconnected, hoping that this time we've reconnected, then this time he's gonna commit. We always in that hopeful mode. But I realized I essentially became a placeholder chick in his life because I was there. I was there, and it was now the true definition of a situationship which I was in. And I realized that, if after all this time he had not outright wanted a commitment with me, why was I expecting it now? It's because I was in my feels that, oh, we know each other for so long, he's like in my feels, and I was not applying logic to the situation. So emotionally, I was thinking, if I wait around for a little longer, he will finally see my worth. He will finally see that I am worth of commitment. That's a very flawed way to look at it. But in this scenario, this is what logic should have said to me, which it, thank God, later on, obviously, as I look back, thank God I got myself out of that situation. But it's unfortunate that at that point it ended in tears for me because I was hopeful for years. And logic should have said that you should value yourself enough not to be somebody's placeholder, to be a placeholder in somebody's life that they can, they can just come to you as they wish. They know that you're there, you have been there, and you'll probably be there for a long time. You're not being taken for granted like that. And yeah, I should have asked myself, like, what do I really want? How do I want to be treated? What is my value and my worth? And also, just because there was quite a number of years that had passed, I should have also asked myself, what has changed? So this is applying logic to a situation where I would normally just go with my emotions or with my feels. What has changed? Has his mind changed all of a sudden now that it's much later? And what I figured at that point, and I think I have to state it blatant, is that you can do regular boyfriend things with a guy. A guy can do, boyfriend things with you, act like you're in a relationship with him, and still not commit to you. And would definitely, without hesitation, leave you for the next chick. So I think that it's high time, and I learned that it's high time that we all learn as ladies that you need to leave the table immediately when you're no longer being served what you ordered. If you came for main and dessert and suddenly you're being served something else that is not what you ordered, leave that place. So that's exactly what I should have done many years, not even a year into the relationship, because I had already seen those tendency of no commitment. So I should have walked out, with my head high. Sadly, if you're not getting commitment in the beginning, you're not going to get commitment later. Unfortunately, and that was unfortunate in my situation. And I know a lot of women when they are in the very same situation where you're hoping that he's going to commit later because now he's saying he can't commit. No ways. If you're not getting it now, you're not getting it later. And that is how logic plays out when you're not applying emotions. It might sound harsh, but that is what logic, reason, and sound judgment based on evidence. I had all the evidence from the previous years, but still I allowed my emotions to go before me. So I would say let's wise up a bit as women. And I know that, yes, this is our default, our emotions, but sit down, take a step back, and put all the evidence in front of you, weigh it, reason it out, and judge for yourself before you put yourself in a situation that will break your heart and disappoint you. So yeah, let's not let the emotion gear always be the front, the gear that pushes us. Let's take care out there. I know it's tough, I know it's rough out there, but let's take care. And let's meet in the next video where I talk about dating mistake number 3. Remember to subscribe. Cheers for now.